Hello, Internet. The December 2020 stimulus law contained many more holiday gifts crammed into it than just the $600 check that went out to every American adult and dependent child. The media really likes to fixate on those $600 checks and demand that Congress and the President send out even more money, but what they don't mention is that the 2020 law actually contained many other valuable provisions to help us out during this coronavirus pandemic and time of economic uncertainty. I want to talk about a few of those valuable provisions in this video here. I've already talked about the $600 stimulus checks in several other earlier videos, so if you have questions about those, please check out my earlier videos. Right now, let's talk about the additional provisions in that December 2020 law. Hi, my name is Steve Hunt. I'm a certified public accountant, and I'm the consultant for prosperity and adventure, and I am the expert at helping people get to their dreams faster. I'm also the owner of collegetaxrefunds.com, where we help recent college students and their families claim thousands of dollars that they don't even realize they missed from their old tax returns. So if you have a recent college student in your family, please check out collegetaxrefunds.com to see if you missed any money on your old taxes. Like I said, I want to talk today about the December 2020 stimulus law and some of the Easter eggs or hidden provisions that aren't mentioned very often that Uncle Sam gifted to the American people with this December 2020 law. So first I want to turn right over to the law, which is actually called the Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2021. And I will not read through this law with you. I want to point out that this table of contents by itself is several pages long. The law is 5,593 pages long, and that is why some of the provisions seem hidden and are not talked about much by the media. So let's go ahead and just take a look at a few of these valuable provisions for individuals and for businesses. First, individuals. You already know about the $600 stimulus checks. Some of you have received those already. And like I said, I made some earlier videos explaining how to claim those that money on your 2020 tax return if you did not actually receive the check. Some of the videos also talk about why college students generally don't get the stimulus checks and how some college students can actually apply to get that money, that stimulus money, on their 2020 taxes. I also talked a little bit about how divorced couples can settle the argument or decision about who should receive that stimulus money in an earlier video. So go ahead and check out my earlier videos, please, and share them, like them. Make sure that other people know about them if they have any questions about those $600 stimulus checks. Now, another provision in the December 2020 law was an additional unemployment assistance amount. Back in earlier in 2020, when they passed the CARES Act, Congress authorized several months of unemployment assistance, additional pandemic unemployment assistance that was $600 more than you would normally get per week. Well, they've done it again, and they've allowed $300 more per week of pandemic unemployment assistance for 13 weeks. So those of us who are unlucky enough to have lost our jobs during this economic downturn, if you are on unemployment, you get an additional $300 per week because of the December 2020 stimulus law. Also in that law was a provision for people to get better earned income tax credits and child tax credits if they qualify. So these are two tax credits that you get when you file your taxes at tax time, and many people qualify for the child tax credit if they have a certain level of income and if they have children. For each child, that credit is usually up to $2,000. The earned income credit, on the other hand, is for people who have low income, but at least they had some earned income. They had a job, they worked, and they can usually qualify for some additional tax credit money, a refundable credit. That means that the government will actually pay you this money up to about $6,000 or even more. Now, you have to have some earned income to claim either of these credits, and the December 2020 stimulus law says that if you ended up with less earned income in 2020 because of the pandemic than you had in 2019, you can, if you choose, elect to use your 2019 earned income on your 2020 tax return to claim a higher earned income credit or child tax credit. So this is beneficial for anybody who had only a few $1,000s of earned income in 2019, and then maybe they lost their job in 2020 due to the pandemic. And so now they, without this provision, would not be able to qualify for the extra child tax credit or earned income credit. But because of this provision in the December 2020 law, they can now file their 2020 taxes and use their 2019 earned income to claim these credits. They don't have to pay tax on their 2019 income again. They are simply allowed to claim a larger credit if that helps them out. So thank you, Uncle Sam, for that one. Now, for businesses, there are a few additional provisions in the December 2020 law. The first one is the 100% meals deduction for the next 2 years. If you own a business, or if you're a manager at a business, or if you oversee, budgets or whatever, you're probably aware that when you go out to eat for business purposes, you can keep your receipts and give them to your accountant at the end of the year, and your accountant can deduct half of the cost of your business meals, usually 50%, on your tax return. Well, this December 2020 stimulus law has provided that for the next 2 years, 2021 and 2022, business meals are now 100% deductible if you spent that money at a restaurant. Congress would like to stimulate the economy and get people going back out to eat again, and so they've provided that for the next 2 years, whenever you go out to eat with a business purpose, hang on to that receipt and make sure you give it to your accountant. You can deduct 100% of the cost of that business meal on your taxes. Also, back when they passed the CARES Act early in 2020, they provided loans. This is paycheck assistance loans. This is paycheck protection provision loans that went to businesses to try and get businesses to hang on to their employees. Even though there was an economic downturn, Congress and the president did not want businesses to lay off their employees. So if you hung on to your employees and you paid them salaries and wages, or if you paid for their health insurance or other expenses of having an employee, or if you paid for rent or utilities in your business, you could qualify for one of these PPP loans, and some of your loan could be forgiven if you used it on qualified expenses. Well, this time in December 2020, they've extended and expanded that program a little bit so more people can apply for a PPP loan, and they've actually made the process of applying for those loans simpler if you need a $150,000 loan or less. So if you own a business, please reach out to the banker that your business works with and ask them how to apply for one of these PPP loans. Now, the December 2020 law also provided a clarification about these PPP loans. You see, earlier in 2020, the IRS decided by themselves that if you received PPP loan forgiveness by spending some of that loan on your employees' wages, that because those wages were paid for by government free money, you were not going to be allowed to deduct those wages on your 2020 taxes. Well, this caused kind of a discussion, a fight out there, because Congress intended for you to be able to deduct your wages, even though those wages were paid for with a free forgiven loan. And so they clarified that in the December 2020 law. Uncle Sam said, no, look, if you get free money in the form of a PPP loan that is forgiven, you do not have to report that money on your 2020 taxes. It's not income. You don't have to pay taxes on it. And also, if you use that money to pay for wages, you still get to deduct the cost of those wages on your tax return. So thank you for that, Uncle Sam. So those are some of the gifts and provisions that were packed into that December 2020 stimulus law. If you have any questions about any of the provisions that I addressed, please comment below and ask me those questions. You can also reach out to me at any time at collegetaxrefunds.com/contact, and I will respond as quickly as I can. And please go ahead and like this video and share it with your friends and family, anybody that you know who owns a business, or anybody who needs some additional assistance or who might be getting ready to prepare their 2020 taxes. You really should know about the option that you have to use your 2019 earned income to claim the earned income credit or the child tax credit. And so please go ahead and share this video with others, and let me know if you have any questions or what you liked about it. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.